mean, I like kind of brag on Michael Jordan here a little bit, and I think we were a similar ilk with the Jazz. Is I like where guys just tighten their belt up and say, you know what, let's go to work. We just got to get better.
Yeah.
We got to play harder. We got to play smarter instead of just, where's the grass greener? I'm going to go there and win a championship.
Yep.
I think it devalues that. You're not climbing the mountain. You're taking a helicopter to the top.
Totally.
John Stockton sat there with his usual calm look and delivered one of the toughest truths the league has heard in years. He stared into the camera and said, "You're not climbing the mountain. You're taking a helicopter to the top." He didn't say it by accident. Everyone understood exactly who he meant. And coming from Stockton, the message carried real weight. This is a guy who spent 19 hard seasons battling every night, never asking for a super team, never begging for attention, and never letting the media fight his battles. He wasn't trying to go viral. This was Stockton, the quiet legend with more than 15,000 assists, built on discipline, patience, and loyalty. He never blamed teammates, never ran from challenges, and never needed drama to prove how good he was. So, when he called out today's greats for taking the easy route, it hit different. He wasn't angry. He was pointing out how much the game has changed. For him, loyalty was strength. Staying with one team wasn't wasting your career. It was showing commitment. It meant you fought for your franchise, even when things went bad. That mindset is rare now. And that's exactly why Stockton's comment shook the basketball world the way it did.
Free fall. I think the Bronny thing started the free fall. I think people around the league are looking like, yeah, you're LeBron, but you're not 27-year-old LeBron. You're not even 34-year-old LeBron. Like, you're an old man now who's dictating and destroying the Lakers because you want your son to play. And look what...
Stockton's comment didn't just spark conversation. It struck at the heart of how the modern game works. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because things are only going to get more interesting from here. Let's start with that helicopter line. It wasn't an old-timer rant. Stockton was pointing to a real shift in basketball culture. When he talked about climbing the mountain, he meant the long, difficult path he and Karl Malone lived through, years of heartbreak, going to war with Jordan, and still showing up ready for more. No jumping teams, no shortcuts, just pride, patience, and toughness every night. That's the real contrast. When things got rough in Cleveland, LeBron didn't push through. He left for Miami to join Wade and Bosh. When that faded, he went back to Cleveland, this time with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love beside him. When that group hit its limit, he headed to Los Angeles, where Anthony Davis was ready to join him. Every time the climb got steep, there was always another smoother route waiting. That's what made Stockton's words cut so deep. He wasn't talking about jerseys. He was talking about the difference between building something and buying something. Utah didn't form a super team overnight. They drafted, developed, and worked together for nearly 2 decades. Every inch of progress was earned the hard way. LeBron's teams, by comparison, often looked like they were assembled on a video game. Big names, huge trades, and instant pressure. The rings are real, but Stockton's point wasn't about trophies. It was about how you get them. And more people are starting to agree with that mindset. Because when everything is said and done, and the cameras shut off, you're left with legacy. Retirement exposes what's real. Jordan's legacy didn't fade, it grew. His toughest moments turned into legendary stories. His career got better with time. LeBron's, however, is already showing cracks, and he's still on the court. When was the last time he delivered a moment that felt historic? Even sports shows have started asking the same question. What will his legacy look like once the numbers stop piling up? And that's another issue. LeBron's entire GOAT case depends on stats, longevity, and consistency. But the moment he retires, those numbers freeze. When they freeze, people start comparing with fresh eyes. 21 seasons look impressive, until you realize some of them were spent coasting. The scoring record is huge, until you remember it took more games than anyone else ever needed. And then there's the super team era, which time is only making more obvious. But Stockton's point goes even deeper. It's part of a bigger problem fans have started calling the authenticity issue. Stockton represents something rare now, a career built on loyalty and grit. LeBron has become the face of the modern, media-driven superstar. Stockton stayed in Utah for 19 straight years with no attention, no Hollywood appeal, no shortcuts. He could have demanded a trade like today's stars do. He didn't. LeBron's path looks completely different. So many of his moves felt engineered, from the decision, which played like a TV special, to his return to Cleveland, which felt more like a PR moment than a homecoming. Even his social media posts look like they pass through a marketing team. That polish is exactly what fans are tired of. One radio host said players and media are finally speaking up because they sense what feels genuine and what doesn't. Stockton's approach was pure competition. LeBron's often comes across as brand management. And here's the biggest red flag, the Bronny situation. It shows everything Stockton was warning about. The Lakers didn't draft Bronny because he was a top talent. They drafted him because they were afraid of losing LeBron. Instead of letting his son earn his spot step by step, LeBron pushed him straight into the NBA spotlight. That's not development. That's influence. And many fans see it as putting personal legacy before the team's future. Then there's Clutch Sports, the network behind many of LeBron's moves. Most people don't realize how much power it holds. It represents stars, shapes narratives, and has influence throughout the league. When LeBron wants something, he doesn't just ask. He activates the machine. And that's part of why Stockton's simple message hit everyone so hard. Stockton played the game. LeBron has learned how to run the game. But power has a downside. Every time LeBron made a business-first move, his basketball authenticity took a hit. Fans notice when decisions feel more like corporate strategies than passion for the sport. Stockton never worried about any of that. He cared only about winning the right way. That leads to the big question. Was Stockton right? Will LeBron's legacy shrink over time while Jordan's and Kobe's continue to grow? All signs point to yes. Fans today want something real. They're tired of polished, perfect images. They want struggle, sacrifice, and stories that feel earned. Jordan, Kobe, Ollie, Jackie Robinson, their greatness came from pain and perseverance. LeBron's story often feels calculated, optimized, and controlled. It's impressive, but it doesn't leave the same emotional mark. And younger fans don't connect with him the way older generations connected with MJ or Kobe. To them, LeBron is more brand than icon, a superstar wrapped in a media machine. Without that deep emotional loyalty, his legacy may not age the way he expects. Meanwhile, Stockton didn't win a ring, but he earned respect the hard way. He climbed the mountain every year without stepping off the trail. That's why people still speak about him with admiration. LeBron reached the top many times. But the more he rose, the more people felt he took the easy way up. And that's why Stockton's line resonated so strongly. It reminded everyone that being great isn't just about reaching the peak. It's about how you got there. Stockton never stood at the summit, but he never took a shortcut. LeBron conquered the mountain, but many will remember how often he used the helicopter. And that's the difference between being great and being remembered as great. If you want more honest, deep basketball breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe because we've got plenty more coming.